Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Spotlight on Amputee series. Hope everybody's doing great since the last time we talked. My camera is looking all fuzzy for some reason. I'm not sure why. Let's see if I can fix that. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. That's a little better. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing great. I have one little update on one of our past guests that came and sat in with us and talked to us, Mr. Terry Brown. I know that he talked a little bit more about, in further detail on here, about his upcoming surgery that he's about to have, where they do the nerve. What is it called? It's like it shoots a wave, like a electric shock up your back, like on either side of your spine. He had that done, and he's at home resting right now. He said that, laying down on his back and sleeping and stuff like that's kind of awkward, which, I mean, you have two metal rods going right up either side of your spine. You could imagine that would pretty much be pretty rough on anyone. So, Terry, if you're watching, brother, we love you. We're thinking about you, and we hope to get you back on here and, just be seeing you soon. So, for tonight's guest, we have Mr. Ronn Solis, somebody who I've talked to before a little bit, and he expressed interest on being on the show. I think it was in season 1, but we got filled up, like I said before, we got filled up pretty quick, so it was hard to get, everybody that wanted to be on in the first season, so, we just kind of tried to put everything off on the second season and, went from there. So, I was really, really excited to have him on here because he's got a really cool story that, I, again, don't tell people's story for them. I let them tell their own story. And, but before we introduce Mr. Ronn, I want to say hello to everybody that's coming in. We got some folks starting to roll in. So let me go back up here. Miss Jim with No Filter, it's good seeing you. Drew, my brother, good seeing you. Scott, hey, always a pleasure seeing you, bud. Backwoods, there you are, bud. Let's see here. Jeff Bice, my man. Trolling for Jesus. What's up, brother? J-Fid, good seeing you. Let's see. Little me, what's up, brother? Freaking, all right. Possum Smiles, there you are, good seeing you. All right, so without further ado, I want to bring up my friend and your new friend, Mr. Ronn Solis. Ron, how are you, bud?
Doing good. How are you, buddy?
Just a cold, cold day here in Nashville. It was like 34, I think, was the high today. I'm good on that.
Oh, man, gorgeous day here in Texas.
Yeah, whatever, okay, So, I mean, how long you been an amputee? How long you been joining us one-leggers?
Well, here's what's real funny. I joined one-leggers January of 22.
Okay.
But I became a two-legger December of 22.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that. I'll let you tell your own story.
Yeah.
So Ron is a double. You're below knee, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. On both sides. You're below knee on both sides. So would you care to tell us a little bit how that came to be?
Yeah, so not real much. So blood infection, circulation problems, attributed to basically diabetes. So, that just happened. It's real crazy how it started. Um, I was working full time and came home real sick one day. Thought I had COVID, didn't know because that was the thing going around.
Mm-hmm.
And, worked at Motorola and just came home and lied down. Stayed in bed for a couple of days. Well, I woke up on a Saturday morning and my foot was black. It just lost circulation within a day. Who knew?
Yeah.
And so, of course, my kids, they made arrangements, said, hey, Dad, we need to go to the hospital. So, he was 14 at the time. So he and I went to the hospital. And that's when they told me, hey, we're going to have to make arrangements to lose the leg, lose below the knee. And,
Wow.
so had that done. And, That was, we had the surgery. It was real funny. I say December, but that was actually January the 8th of 22, was in the hospital, had the removal January 14th of 22, which ironically was my birthday. So happy birthday to me.
Oh wow, wow. So yeah, I've had moments like that. I spent Thanksgiving in the hospital. Yeah, certain like family moments and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
that's
so started that journey. And lo and behold, that was, like I said, in January. End of February, uh, had was blessed enough to get a kidney transplant. So,
wow.
had the kidney replaced. Well, from the fluid with the kidney and the surgery, the prosthetic that was actually made didn't fit because my body had, swollen. The leg had swollen from the fluid, and so that was a delay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, January had the left leg. That's why I started, and then March the kidney transplant, and then of course the vascular disease caused eyes, so I had to have eye surgery June of 22, and started getting over that. Well, then, if that wasn't enough, July of 22, I was married for 19 years. She passed away in an accident. So one thing after another. And then December of 22, here comes the right leg, and had to have that done. So everything all in 22.
Man, I I told you that this gentleman has an amazing story. That's not that I wasn't lying. I wasn't bullshitting you guys. I promise you that.
And, I mean,
Wow.
really the whole thing about it, the support group I had, as far as family, children, coworkers, was just unbelievable. Um, and what's really kind of amazing through the whole thing, as I look back, I believe I took off work 3 weeks through the whole year.
No way.
Yeah,
Like,
I worked full time.
man, see, that's what I like to hear. That's the kind of stuff that I try to tell everybody. Your life's not over. I mean, I have people with one leg that sit around and just sulk about it. And that's fine. I understand why. I get that, but I'm saying, you know, don't ever compare your story to others. I get that part too, but
No,
I'm just saying, like, you know, you got to keep going, man. You got to there's life to live. There's more to it. It don't just stop because you lost your leg. In your case, a kidney transplant, loss of loved ones, that kind of thing. You just it's a warrior mentality that you have to have. You have no choice when it comes to this. And it sounds exactly like
absolutely. And, like I said, with the support that I had, I told everybody that God brought me to this. God will bring me through this. And that's the way that I stood. I stood on that. And then, just talking to other amputees, I'm like, you can get bitter or you can get better. Choice is yours.
I love that. Absolutely. That's a yeah, 100%. I'm gonna steal that actually and tell some of the people that I go see. So, yeah, I like again. I was telling one of our past people that were on here, Miss Tammy. I see a lot of folks in the hospital and that kind of thing, and you can tell when there's a person that's not really the people that are like, oh yeah, it's fine, no big worries, no big deal. That's the people you got to look after. The people that are coming apart at the seams, that are like completely just breaking down, that's normal reaction. That's what I always look for, and I'm just like, that's good. That's what you want. That sounds weird, but you want people to go through those emotions. Anybody that's holding it back or bottling it in like that, it always, you can tell that they're just like, they're literally dying inside.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. That's
and
what that's what got me to be involved, with the coalition, to be a
hmm
peer visitor, just like you said, just to
hmm
share that story of my life isn't over, your life isn't over, and you just got to make the best of what you can deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. I mean, you have to look at it, and again, it sounds kind of cold hearted, but you have to look at it with you lost your leg. So, so what?
And that was my
Yeah.
big thing. They
You
were
know?
like, "You've lost your leg," and I'm like, "And
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, my heart's still beating. My lungs are still sucking in air. My brain's still forming like it's supposed to. I can't walk. And, again, like we say, yeah, it sucks. We're not going to sit here and lie about it and be like, oh, no big deal. No, it sucks. It does. It really does. But so what, man? So what? You got to make best of what's in front of you and what you have to work with. And again, make that square peg fit in that round hole. If that's all you have, make it work. Pull out your pocket knife and start whittling and make it work.
absolutely." And Josh, the thing that I learned from it, because it's always I want to learn something. I learned what I can tolerate. And I learned that I took a word out of my vocabulary, and that's can't. I try not to say that I can't do anything, because there's not there's not anything that is stopping me but me.
Yeah. Yeah, your only limitation's your own mind.
Yep,
If you tell yourself you can't, well, then you've already defeated
you've already
yourself.
stopped. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. You're done at that point. It's like, well, I mean, now you can't because you've already admitted to yourself. So, yeah, you can try and try all you want to, but that doesn't really, you until you get that mindset of, yeah, we can do this. Can't never did nothing. Exactly, Chad. Exactly, 100%. That's totally true. My grandmother used to say the same thing.
and challenges, driving in Dallas. So that was the headache. That's what scared me the most is, am I going to be able to drive in Dallas? So I use hand controls. I don't worry about that, and accelerate and stop and everything else. In fact, I mentioned that I had a son. He was with his siblings, his brother and sister,
Hmm.
about 2 hours away. Right before I got the leg, and I used the hand controls and drove there to pick him up, missing the leg. So I figured if I could do that, nothing's going to stop me.
Nice, nice. So okay. So do you still use the hand controls even with your prosthetics now?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
because I trust myself. I trust my hand better than I trust my feet.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, because it would be hard because you can't necessarily like compress the pedal like you would. You would have to kind of like work your knee,
Well,
like kind
and
of.
that's the whole thing. As far as pressure, if I put too much pressure, I'm through the windshield.
That's yeah, that's true too. I didn't think about that. Okay. Wow. So I mean, how did that work as far as like how do hand controls work exactly? So do you have something that's pressing the gas pedal and something that hits the brake?
Yeah. So one that the device that I used, it's called Quick Stick. It's two little bars.
Uh huh.
One attaches to the brake, and one attaches to the gas. And I control the accelerator with my thumb and push down on the brake. Move it from vehicle to vehicle. I've helped friends. I moved it from my car to a U-Haul and drove a U-Haul across Dallas Fort Worth. And like I said, you can move it from car to car. I
Okay, that was my
installed it
next
myself.
question.
You know, four
Yeah,
bolts.
that's okay. That's what I was wondering. So you can just like like unhook it and
Oh
hook it
yeah,
up to another. Right on. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that is so cool. Um, wow. All right. So you're just out there killing it. Then that's all. That's all that is. So after between surgeries and that kind of stuff, how long were you just a one legger?
okay. So after I had the initial one in January, I was in a wheelchair up until March 15th. And that was because, I had the kidney, the transplant, and stuff like that. But as soon as I could get the prosthetic, my prosthetist he was there with me side by side,
Hmm.
and we got up and walked out, was in a walker for 2 weeks, By May 1st, I was totally not using anything, just walking.
All right.
And that was with the one leg. With the second one that happened in December, I was up and walking by February of 23.
Okay.
So
So, I mean,
yeah,
wow.
had both of them and walking totally unassisted. Went to the gym, did the gym 6 days a week. And that was my biggest thing. That the culture that the friends that I had, they're motivated me to go to the gym, and it was a two-way street because I would hear from them. Here we are, one not wanting to come to the gym, and you're motivating us. We see you with, we saw you with one, now we see you with two prosthetics, and
Yeah.
we don't have an excuse. That
Yeah.
motivated me.
Yeah. The what's your excuse? That's just you got to have that. You got to have those people around in life, and I
Oh yeah,
love that.
they're all great. My best friend Gavin just pushed me to no end, and he was side by side, surgery, walker, prosthetist. He drove me around, and that's that support that I was talking about.
Right on. That's amazing. As far as like physical therapy and stuff like that, was it pretty much the same with both? Like, did you just kind of
Well,
repeat the process, or
this was
how?
me. This was me being hard headed. I did 2 weeks inpatient physical therapy on the first leg,
Mm-hmm.
and did 3 weeks outpatient. But my hard headedness, when it came to the second one, I was like, man, I've got this. I knew what to do the first time. The second one was a breeze. So I didn't really
Gotcha.
do any physical therapy. That's what allowed me. My true physical therapy was joining the gym and doing that.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. So there you go. So I mean, it was just pretty much self physical therapy then.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I think the biggest therapy that I had was the mental part, just to know not to push my limitations, but to
yeah.
know that I could push my limitations.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know. Yeah. I do a lot of the same stuff. Like I just set challenges for myself. It's just like just see if you can do it. Why not? There was for a while, and I hate talking about myself during somebody else's interview, but um, I had a live stream on my channel. You can go back and check it out later. It's called Operation 1 Mile. And what that all spawned from was I had a blood clot in my leg and I couldn't wear my leg for, a few months. And I started using my forearm crutches a lot, like a lot, getting around. That's my main form of mobility without my leg. And so I just got to wondering and thinking and looking it up, and I was like, I wonder how far a person could go on forearm crutches. You know, just see. And I looked it up, and there was some that are like crazy lengths, that I could never ever do. And I was just like, what if I just set it out for 1 mile? Plain and simple, one mile. So we went over to this place over by my house, and it's like a 1 mile loop. You go around it a few times, and that's what we did. And I accomplished the goal. And it's you got to set stuff like that. The whole moral of the story is you got to kind of set stuff for yourself, and have some kind of personal goal whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. You can't just be like, see what it does, see how it performs, get it out there and,
Absolutely.
see what it's capable of, what your body is now capable of doing, because it obviously can't do the same things it used to,
It,
you know.
it, it can't do it as quick as you used to, but, like I said, we are our own limitation. Um, and, this was my challenge like that. All my bedrooms are upstairs. So I had to learn balance to even just get upstairs to go to bed. And that was
Okay.
my goal. I'm gonna make it upstairs.
Wow. Yeah. See? No, do you have like the banisters that go up the side and everything?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
believe me, I mean, it's one of those things I'm holding on for dear life sometimes,
Yeah.
and it is. But coming down same way. But as soon as I made it up the first time, I knew that you know it just repeat itself and go that route. So that was my challenge. It was real funny because my daughter, she was like there side by side through those, and I went up the first time during the stairs, and she was like, "Dad, you came up too quick." And I had mentioned my friend Gavin. We tried it with that gate belt,
Mm-hmm.
and he was right there just holding on, making sure my big booty didn't fall.
Just like pulling up on you the whole
He
time,
sure
just
was.
like going up the steps. Yeah, that's awesome though. I mean, if you got somebody that can do that and somebody that's willing to work with you, oh man, that right there is worth its weight in gold. My wife unfortunately is way smaller than me, so if I were to fall on her, that would be pretty bad. So
Yeah, that's the way my son is. The poor thing. I think he barely broke 100 pounds. So here he is, 17 and like maybe 110.
right, right on. So you got up and just got back at it really quick. Then you didn't waste no time. That's see
No,
that's
and that was just me pushing. And here's the funny thing: after I, so since the amputation and me walking, I've fallen twice. And the first time I was unloading a case of water, and I fell, just picked it up, lost my balance, and fell back.
mm-hmm.
And I'm laughing because I survived the fall. My biggest scare was, what if I fall? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, it's kind of like I don't know. I grew up skateboarding, and you're gonna fall and fall and fall repeatedly, trying to do one trick over and over and over. And once I started walking with a prosthetic, I kind of started adapting it to that. It's just like, well, get used to wiping out. I already knew kind of how to fall, as if that makes any sense. Like as far as like, don't put your elbow directly under you. Kind of, stick your arm out.
Absolutely. Break
You
that
know,
elbow.
yeah. So just you got to know what to do, tuck and roll kind of thing. All that kind of stuff. So I've learned a lot from being a skateboarder in the past, and so having balance and that kind of stuff, and also not being afraid to fall
Right.
because you're going to. It's just the way it is. Like being, just being a one legger is you're gonna fall. That's no doubt about it. I want to take just a second to pause here and say hello. We got a lot of folks coming in. I want to say hi to. Without them, this show would not be possible. That is a fact, Jack. The Reckoning, good seeing you. Backwoods, always good seeing you. Freaking, how you doing, brother? Lil Me still here, good seeing you. Let's see, scrolling down. Caparo, my man. J Fid, hello there. Miss Bell, good seeing you. Scott still here. Leg Day, my brother. Blue Eyes. Chad, my boy. Brandy B. Lovely Brandy B. Yankees for life. Let's see. Claire UK, good seeing you. Mr. Fusion. Mr. Fusion, I wanted to tell you real quick. I was trying to tell you earlier to please not end your live stream. I didn't want you to have to do that. It wasn't that big a deal. I was just trying to tell you, I don't know. I was trying to move things around, but hey, I do appreciate you like more than you'll ever know, and I hope that after this you go live again because your live streams are a good time. So I really do appreciate you doing that for real. Yeah, thank you. Red Fox, good seeing you. Blue Eyes, still there. Crystal with a K, hello. Let's see here. Miss Natalie, Lady Tracy, Red Fox, good seeing you. Let's see. All right. The Reckoning, Chad, True Texan, Cowboy, aka the One, Rusty Truck, K, I'm here. Yankees for life. Tennessee Volunteer. My goodness, this list keeps growing and growing. That 815 guy. All right, if I missed anybody, I do apologize. Joe, good seeing you. I saw you. I just scrolled past you. Deerfield, my man, good seeing you. Drew, Chance C. All right. ADA, Corliss. Carolina Cowboy. All right. So, I have to know. I've seen the pictures that you sent me that we were going to use for the thumbnail, and in those pictures, I noticed a certain YouTube content creator. Who was that? Was that Mr. Beast that's in that picture with you?
Yeah, so what's real funny is, let's see, in October, a couple of the groups here, Mr. Beast kind of does this thing where supplies prosthetics for amputees that, less fortunate can't afford it, no insurance. So I was lucky enough to work with that group. My prosthetist, Kai Davis, here in Dallas, and then Prosthetic One over in Arlington, Martin out of Oklahoma City. We brought about 75 individuals that never had prosthetic, all, either below or above the knee, amputee, single, bilateral, and got together from fitting, casting to walking, did it on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then got together on a Saturday in Oklahoma City, brought this whole group together.
Wow.
And, everything was all funded by Mr. Beast. So, just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that dude does a lot of stuff. A lot of people think he's just, we're going to throw this bowling ball off the, whatever. I mean, yeah, he does a lot of that stuff too, but I mean, he does a lot of good stuff, especially for amputees. He doesn't, a lot of people don't realize that, but he's he's a big deal in this space,
Yeah, so the whole program is wanting to get 2,000 people up and walking. And, some of the people that I was lucky enough to meet, been in a chair 10 years, just because there wasn't that opportunity to get a prosthetic. And, the group at, like I said, Kai Davis Prosthetic and Prosthetic One that I worked with, just to be there, seeing the people that, coming in. And, we all been there. We've all been dejected, head down. There's no hope for me. I'm never going to walk. And getting the fitting, getting all the casting and everything done. And, their eyesight was wheelchair. And that was their life that they had seen.
Yeah.
And then, telling them that, hey, you're going to be able to see at a 5'5" level, a 6-foot level, because now you're going to be eye level with people. And when that came about, getting up on the bars, on the parallel bars, just to see that testing, did it fit, just a smile on their face. And that was huge.
Yep. Yeah, that's always just such an amazing feeling. The first time I ever did it, I have video, on here, and yeah, it's unreal. I mean, because you've been down for so long, and it's just like coping with the gravity of what happened and everything. And man, you feel, I don't know, you feel like a human again, for lack of better words. You really do.
You did. It's an accomplishment that, it was, is it a pipe dream or, what is it? And then to, like I said, see it come to life. And that just to see the people come to life is what made it all worth it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I just realized my laptop's not plugged in. Yep. No, there's being an advocate, there's a lot of people that you see, and like we were talking about before, the I'm okay people, you gotta kind of really watch them more so. How personally, like, how did you get in with like the amputee coalition, that kind of stuff, and become an advocate
Well,
for that group in particular?
lucky enough, Dallas is home to one of the largest amputee network groups, in the nation. So it's called
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Amputee Network, and just working with that group, realizing that I needed them more than they needed me. And
Right.
then, that was one of the things, talking to the different board members and things like that, and just really all the members, that made me realize that I do have a story to tell, a spot with them, and that like I said, I needed that encouragement from that whole group. And so that prompted me to take the class and, just be certified and things like that, just so I could share with, anybody that's in a rehab center or new amputee that never went to rehab, just something. That way we know that, there's resources out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I do it personally through. Sorry, I was trying to fix my light here. I do it personally through the prosthetics company that I go through,
Uh-huh.
Bulow Prosthetics, and mainly what I do is, it's not necessarily a success story or anything like that, or try to, go in and tell people, yeah, you got this, you can do it, pal. It's not really. I just more or less check on them, see how things are going. Just kind of, you know, talk with them a little bit more. I'll take my leg off and show it to them. If they're a below the knee, I've been both a below and above knee. I'll take one of those with me and just kind of be like, hey, this is what yours is going to look like, possibly,
Yeah.
or similar to it. And it really helps people to hold a prosthetic in their hand and to literally just like look at it and look at the parts of it and like look down inside and like pull on the rubber foot and your foot shell and just kind of like mess with it a little bit. I've seen a lot of people kind of go from like real bummed out to this is awesome and like looking at different parts on it and things and they get excited. You'll see literally people's face just be like, "Oh, I
That's
can't wait
right.
to get mine," and it's just like, yeah, yours is going to be, and who knows if your insurance approves it, you're going to have some way better, cooler stuff than this. This is old technology, what I have. I need to go get approved for some more, like a new knee, because mine's, anyway.
You want you want to talk about technology? I've got something that new. It's really cool that I show it off all the time.
Well,
So you ready for
what
this?
you got?
I've got my removable feet. So my shoe that I wear every day, little
Uh-huh.
pylon, and I can just attach it, and it's on there.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So as far as game changer, life changer, now I don't have to worry, fumbling with the prosthetic to get it through a pant leg if I want to wear pants. Or, because we think, oh my gosh, I got to wear shorts. Well,
Yeah.
now I can, have both my legs, stick them through the pant leg and, you know, put my feet, pop them on and off.
See, I need to get with my prosthetist because my wife immediately is just like, take your shoes off. Like, as soon as you come in the house. So I need to have one of those. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I need to have
So
one of those and have one of my old feet because I've got
there you
another
go.
foot. I just
So
need the pylon.
I have three sets of feet, you know, um, they're either, flower or you name it, the starter foot,
Mm-hmm.
um, college park foot, but I can wear different shoes at any time, and I don't have to worry about taking my shoe off on each foot. I just put different shoes on. And funny enough, the name of that is called Quick Foot.
Wow. Yeah,
So
I need to check in on that for sure. So my prosthetist actually watches this show. So Matt, I'm gonna call you tomorrow.
yeah, and think about it is get with me and I'll get you the information, share it out. Working through. making sure that, insurance, it passes all the glitches and anything that, comes with getting a leg or a foot or whatever. But,
Yeah.
these guys, Dylan and Michael, all the ones at Crookfoot, they're amazing. The product is super great. I think I've had it now 6 months, 8 months,
Yeah.
and just, new on the market. Autobach has something like it, but these guys at Quickfoot, they've nailed it.
Man, that's amazing. A lot of people I talk to, it's like, you don't think about, and again, going back to talking to new people, you know, you don't think about the small little micro details, like you said, putting on your pants, you can't aim your foot and slide your foot down in there. You're having to like shove a foot through a pant leg like this, and kind of like work
Absolutely.
it over it and down, and it doesn't work. Um, uh, Dropping something, picking it up off the ground, just simply, oh, I dropped the remote. Well, now you got to do what's called, the A frame, where you kick your leg out and then kind of lean down, and you got to kind of do this weird like, and then you can lean. It's yeah, there's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of little things that you
little
take for
adjustments.
granted. Yeah, and yeah, that's amazing. I need to check into that for sure because, like I said, I have a foot. So if I could just have one that when I come in the house and just, take that one off, put a new foot on, boom, ready to roll, that would be ideal. So, yeah, thank you for that. I didn't know that was even a thing till just now.
Yeah. So, what was real funny is when I went to the amputee, the national conference, back in like August, September,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to show different people there, and it, still new on the market, but, I think we're now up to 15 or 20 product testers, and, reviews are they're loving it. I mean, I knew from day one, once I was able to switch that out and switch my feet, switch my shoes, best thing ever. Just brought whole new life to me.
So this is a newer product then.
Yeah, yes. So, I believe they designed it for one of their friends that was an amputee, and they're getting it out on the market. But I don't know. I don't want to speak, but I think that it's getting approval. Trying to figure out. Of course, there's 10,000 billing codes, so trying to get the right
Yeah,
one to get insurance and stuff to do that. But it's just a game changer. There's no question about it. Single
absolutely.
amputee, bilateral. But yeah, it made my life 1,000% easier.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, what I'm doing is the same thing, but I've got a 4 millimeter taking the foot off and putting a new foot on. Like
Yeah,
when I come in the house, literally switching out feet, and yeah,
yeah. And this way it's 10 seconds and you're done.
yeah.
Your
See,
alignment stays the same, everything.
yeah, no, I need that in my life, 100% for sure. Because yeah, I've been, like I said, with my wife being pregnant and stuff, I kind of have to walk through the house right now because I'm typically coming in and going right back out. So yeah, we've been kind of pretty lenient on the shoes in the house right now, but
Right.
she gets it. It's just like, yeah, it's a lot to go through, so we don't have to worry about that as much. Well, that's awesome, man. So I always ask people, what what is going to the beach like? Have you been down to the beach with being a double?
So I have been,
It's pretty rough.
yeah, gone to the beach, been on cruises, you name it. Yeah, it is tough. But again, with everything, making sure that take my time and know my surroundings around me. The
Hmm.
sand's not easy, but I guess the positive thing is I don't have to worry about if it's hot or not.
Yeah, no, no, definitely.
You
I
got people,
didn't even think about
jumping,
that.
yeah, jumping up and down, and of course I'm walking through asking what's the problem.
Right, I didn't even think about that. Holy crap! Wow. All right. Yeah. So there you go. Wow. Yeah. That's Yeah. See, there's always a positive.
That's it. Whatever there is, look for the positive. That's my idea, or that's just something that you know that I tell everybody, and that's something that I try to live by, is make one person 1% better every day. You know, and don't go for 100. If you focus on making yourself 1% better every day, what do you have at the end of the year?
There you go. Absolutely. Oh. Yep. Yep. Um. Man, I love your outlook on everything. I mean, I have some people, but again, I talk to a lot of new people and a lot of people that have, I've been amputee, since I was 8 and they're 41 now, So you can tell a lot of people that are, the new people don't really want to talk about it. They're kind of, they're into it, but not so much, like you and I could sit here and rap about it, and you talk to somebody else, and just because, I don't know if it's just a lack of experience or a lack of knowledge about it, because it's all still new to them. But I kind of like to get both people's perspective on it. How you dealing with it, how's things going, versus a person that's been doing it for a long time, that their perspective is through the roof.
Yeah.
So that's why I was really stoked to talk to you. I was real excited to talk to you because, been at it quite a while. So
And learning something new every day. Like I said, the biggest thing is knowing what I want to try next is my biggest thing. Or, I'm not going to be stopped. And, that's just what it is. That's my attitude.
Yep. Yeah, I just tell me I can't do it and just watch me do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Watch me.
Yeah. All right. I want you to say that you can't do that. That's kind of the way I am too. Well, that's not kind of. That's exactly the way I am.
And that was one of the things that I listened to. People talk about motivation. That song by Mercy Me, "Say I Won't." That I listened to that. I can tell you every day, at least once a day for 6 months, because I wanted somebody to tell me you won't be able to do that, and I'm like, watch me, just like you said.
Yep. Yeah, I dare you to tell me that I can't do that. I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to laugh in your face the whole time.
Yeah.
So, when we're out in public, what happened? How do you deal with that? Like, what do you tell people? Do you get funny about it, or do you actually take time and say, oh, diabetes and
a little of both? I've told people, and inevitably, being a bilateral, somebody will come up and say, "Were you in the service?" And I'm
that
like,
was my next question.
yeah, and you want to say, yeah, just to put it away. And I'm like, no, I wasn't brave enough to be in the service, but I'm brave enough to do this. And then, I tell them the whole story behind it, and talk when I see an amputee. Again, I'll go up and talk to them just to see what their outlook is, because in my opinion, it's not really about me. I know me, but what can I do for you? How can I how can I make you 1% better?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah,
I'll answer questions and get the stare. And what's really funny is when I do get the stare, that's what makes that quick foot even better, because I will pop it off in public. And people look at me like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "It's metal. Yeah, I'm okay." It's not like I broke my foot. Yeah, and I've done that. And even going to the grocery store and parking in a handicapped spot, I'll get out of the car and I'll get up and walk, and I'll have some people say, "Of course, sir, you realize that's handicapped." And I even had a guy came up to me, and I took the foot off and I said, "Would you hold this for me and let me, open the car door?" And he was like, "Sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, it's okay. You didn't know." I said, "But a disability isn't always visible,
No.
So it's that education more than anything, but I have fun with people."
Yep.
That's
Yeah, it all depends on if it's a kid or if it's, an adult, an old person. I typically gauge my response on, the person asking,
oh yeah, and like I said, but I'll pull my foot off anywhere, and you know because it'll freak people out, and I just laugh, and it's one of those things, and it's fun, but that's my personality. Um,
yeah,
you know,
I love that.
I can laugh at myself.
Yeah, and you have to. It's so important. You absolutely have to. I mean, if you don't, then it's going to be a very, very rough ride because I
Yes,
hate to
sir.
break it to you, this is going to be for the rest of your life. And I don't
Yes,
know if many people know that, but the rest of your life is a long
it's a
time,
long time. Yep,
barring no, horrible accidents or anything. But you're going to have to get used to it, and you got to instill that in people's heads, whether they're an amputee or not. It's just like
absolutely.
this is who
You
we
know,
are.
and that's just what it is. Again, we're all human. Um,
Hmm.
we all live day to day. We never
Yeah.
know what the next hour is going to bring us or tomorrow. So, live life.
Yep. Yep. 100%. 100%. I couldn't have said it better myself. Um. Man. All right. So real quick, going back to the hand controls and that kind of thing. How was that dealing with like the DMV and that kind of thing? Like getting your license, did you have to do like a driving test? I was just curious about that because
Well,
somebody actually sent me a message and was asking about that, and I was like, that's a great question.
yeah. So, it's all, they base it on, your responsiveness. So it is like a little extended driving test. It's a stop and start. You
Hmm.
are a little bit more in traffic. And, if you're patient with it, it's no different than using your right foot. If you're uh, that side, the left amputee, or the left foot if you're right amputee. But of course, Texas has been really good. Um, the gentleman looked at me, and he actually said, "I'm going to recommend that to people that I see." So the driving test, like I said, was stringent, but it's again patience. And the thing that I can honestly say is using the hand control made me more aware of texting and driving, you know, being more aware of my surroundings. I can look lane to lane, and I'm always keeping my head up. So it made me a better driver than, able bodied person, just because, I'm going to sit there and talk, text on my phone and not
Hmm.
look up. I don't have any distractions.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I had somebody somebody send me a message like a text message and was just like, cause they're also a double amputee and they don't drive right now, and they were actually curious about that,
Yeah,
but they're not on
I'll be glad
YouTube, so.
to share my information. I believe I did a video on it, that I used how I, stop and start. And if not, I'll redo a new one for you and share it with you guys. Um, but yeah, it's like I said, just two metal pieces of the contraption. I mean, if you have time, I can take you out to the car.
I mean, here we are. Let's
Yeah. Well, then
go
let's
for it.
go. Let's go
Yeah.
on. We'll do that.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
awesome. Because, like I said, I was curious to know, how all that worked and how, you know, and they were actually asking the same thing. So,
yeah.
but I was like, hey, I
Let
mean,
me see if I can get my cohort to help me with a flashlight. That way, because it happens to get dark nowadays.
Absolutely. It gets like dark at like 4 o'clock here, and like,
Oh God, yeah, that's it. So sorry about the dark, guys.
see you walking like a champ, though.
Trying.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if I can. Let me flip this camera around. Can I do that? Um,
Yep, you just killed your camera. You can just put it like face forward, just turn it around.
okay. Well, here we go. So I don't know if you can see it really good. Can you see that?
No, not
Let's
really.
see. Okay. So,
Go over. Yeah, there you go. Go
okay.
over just a little bit more.
Is that
Over a
good?
little bit more. Over a little bit. Yeah, right there. There you go.
Okay. So all this does is just I can push down. That's a
Okay.
brake. I can hit this, and that's the accelerator.
Oh wow. Okay. I see.
Attaches 4 bolts, like I said, on the brake and the gas.
I got you. Okay, so it doesn't attach like up to that panel up there at all. You can just move it
Yeah,
around freely.
yeah. You can. I can just move it around whatever way I need to swivel it. But man, it's the best thing.
Yeah, that's badass. I
And
love
like I
that.
said, it's called Quick Stick.
Yeah.
Amazon,
Okay.
$120 maybe.
Okay. I'm gonna link that in the description of this because I have a lot of folks that are doubles and also talk to folks that are paralyzed as well. So
Yeah,
you know.
and like I said, I move it from vehicle to vehicle. And of course, when I said moving that driving that U-Haul, man, that was a snap. I can't help you too much picking up stuff, going up a ramp, but I can drive a truck.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. I mean, oh, that's amazing though. Okay, thank you for showing us. I really do appreciate you
Yeah,
showing us that
and
because
like I said, I'll do another video that's clearer and better like that, and I'll share it with you, and you
hmm
can give it to all your followers.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, me and you can, you make like a small video on how it works or whatever, and I'll make a video about that and say, whatever, co-starring my buddy Ron.
And I'll do the one with quick foot just to show you guys how that works too.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. We'll do that like coming up very soon. Actually,
Yeah, sure,
I'll
no worries.
I'll get with you after that for sure. Because yeah, that'd be very very cool. I like to show off new products and that kind of stuff just because I have a lot of people that come in that you know basically they're just operating with what they were given. It's just
Right.
like here's my leg, here's my pylon, and what kind of foot is that? I don't know. Like they don't know anything about what they have, and that's fine. But it you kind of want to be more aware of what you have and what's available, and again, advocate for yourself and say that okay, this foot seems to be all right. Well, have you tried any other feet? Have you tried anything softer or harder, or
You're
it?
you're so right. That's what I tell people, that you have to be your own advocate. Don't just take this is what you got and settle for it, because do your research. You wouldn't buy a TV without looking at what's out there. You wouldn't buy a car without looking. So why do you treat yourself any different? Personal.
Yep. Yep. And like I do, when you first get your prosthetic leg, you're just amazed at what's sitting in front of you. You're just looking at your leg thinking, wow, this is neat. And you put it on thinking, well, this is how it's supposed to be, I guess. This is what a prosthetic feels like. You
Yeah.
know, a good prosthetist should always offer you options.
Yep.
Offer you like, let's try this foot. Let's try this foot. Take this foot home and, for a week, come back to us, let us know what you think. And generally what they'll do is I don't know about yours, but mine in particular, they have like say 3 or 4 feet that are kind of in your price range for your approval from your insurance,
Absolutely.
and they'll let you try each one and you'd be like, oh, this is the one, and be like, all right, cool. Well, then they give you some kind of dummy foot, just to take home while they order that one,
Yep.
and they'll call you and say,
That's
hey,
exactly right.
your foot's
And
in, come get it.
and it's out there. Like again, we have to be our advocate,
Mhm.
because nobody they can tell us how it's supposed to feel, but until you have that socket on your limb, you're the only one that knows how it feels.
Yep.
The rubbing, the pinching, anything. So yeah, that's why we got to speak up for ourselves.
100%. It's a different world, man. It's a different world. Yeah. I mean, you can't just go with what they give you. You know, that's what I tell everybody. Obviously, don't be a problem. Don't go in there and start causing trouble for them, that kind of thing. But at the same time, ask questions. Always ask questions. Don't just take what you got. And I try to head that off at the pass with people. It's
Yeah.
like when you go into your prosthetist, please do me a favor, ask about different feet. If you're below the knee. If you're above the
Yeah.
knee, I'll say ask about different knees. Because feet
Yep.
ain't such a big deal right now. We'll get into feet later. But right now, I want them to see I want to see what kind of knee that they're going to approve for you. And if they're going to approve like a C leg right off the bat or something like that, then you're good. Don't even worry about that. Because there's people that get approved for like $20,000 knees, like right off the bat.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, holy crap. I mean, I can't believe that. My friend, Little Leg Day on here, he's an amputee. He uses a total knee, which is a mechanical knee.
Hmm.
And I've asked him about that before. I've like, dude, I have older knees that like they're awesome. And he's just like, no, I prefer to use the mechanical knee. He's been on it literally since he was 15 years old, and
Oh my God.
he's in his 30s now. And he was like, I just don't see myself using anything else. So whenever he goes to get a new knee, it's basically just upgrade to whatever
Whatever there is. Yeah.
the new mechanical knee of the total knee. So it's whatever you prefer. But yeah, back to the advocate for yourself. That is the most important thing that you can do as an amputee is just
Yes, sir.
you gotta speak up for yourself, ask questions. That's the biggest thing. Just ask questions. Definitely. Um, so yeah. Well, Mr. Ron, I have one question that I always ask at the end, but I want to ask you one thing real quick. Since you're a double, I gotta know: did you make yourself taller?
Well, here's what's really funny. The answer is yes. My normal height is 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
Previously, with I guess a real body,
Mm-hmm.
but with the quick foot, I am pushing 5'11",
Look at you. There you go.
because that pylon adds about inch and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, before that I was 5'10", made myself half inch taller. But with this quick foot and stuff like that, so I had to adjust to that. Just
I
to
don't
my
blame you.
balance again. So that, yeah, absolutely made myself taller.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I would too. Why not, man? I'm jealous that I can't do that. I would, but now I got a short foot. Yeah, my God.
And
I always ask doubles that, and they're just kind of like, really? It's just like, yeah, really? Did you make
I,
yourself taller? I would have.
absolutely, as soon as they told me I could, that's just what I did.
Yeah. I mean, why would you not? It's like, yeah, I want to dunk on some fools. Why not? Let's do that. I mean, obviously, you couldn't go like super, super crazy tall, because your arms, you're just gonna look disproportionate.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, I'm 6'5". You're like, yeah, well, your arms are like this long, so you're like a T-Rex or something. So you have to stay kind of in a certain range. But man, yeah, I would, yeah, I would totally. I'm jealous that I can't. I mean, let's just face facts. But yeah, that I had to ask. I always ask my doubles that because
Absolutely.
it's
Like I
just
said,
fun.
if you get the opportunity, I'd say do it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, for sure. Why not? I mean, I would be like, how tall you want to be? Shoot, I
I
don't know.
mean, and my opinion is, what do you got to lose? You already lost, you
Yeah,
know, 12 inches, 14 inches below the knee, you know,
yeah.
so might as well.
I mean, a pylon, when you buy like a pylon that comes to your prosthetist, they come in an 18-inch length because
Yep.
that's pretty much, unless you want like a custom, then they can get up to like 2 feet, but a standard pylon is 18 inches. So I think for fun, I would have to have two 18-inch pylons just to to get up and walk around with two big
Just
giant,
try
like
it
on
out.
stilts.
Yeah, worst that could
Like I'm
happen is
like 8 feet tall now.
that's right.
Oh my gosh! So you guys have so much fun with it. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that would be incredible. Um, but yeah, okay. So back to my last thing I was saying is I always ask people, and with yours it's going to be a little bit different because you lost one leg and then you lost another like later on down the road. It wasn't just like in one swipe, you know. But I guess basically the question would be if you could tell yourself something like, say, look, Ron, I need you to be prepared for this. I'm talking about two-legged Ron. Before you even get into this, I need you, not what you would tell John and Ann down the road. I'm talking about you personally. Be ready for this because it's going to be, you know, and it can be anything, the small things. I'm not talking about, you know, going upstairs and all that. I mean, like mentally, that kind of thing. What is something that you truly wish that you knew going into this?
Patience. That's that's
Yeah.
it. Is and that's the biggest thing again that I've learned is patience, not only with me, but with a caregiver, with people in general. Um, I had to step back and say, Ron, you need to be patient on walking. You need to be patient, and then dealing with a caregiver that wants to do everything for you, being patient with them to say, stop, let me fail. Let me at least try
Yeah.
rather than being short because initially I was short with people, don't, why do you need to do that? I'm a real person, I'm alive. But
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Quit touching me.
seeing it from their perspective, knowing that I may or may not have been in pain. They just want to help me adapt and do something. And that was the education part is being able to speak in a normal tone to say, let me try. Or, you know what, I do need your help. And that was my biggest thing of learning learning to ask for help when I needed it, not being hard headed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Um, Patience and learning to deal with others, you know, because they don't understand what we're going through. They don't get it. They try to. Even with caregivers and stuff like that, you know, this is what they do every single day of their life. They
Yeah.
don't, you know, they still don't understand what it's quite like to be missing a limb, unless they do, you know, and
And
that's, you
and
know,
even to that point, you and I can talk to each other, but I don't know what your challenges are as a single amputee, whether it's below the
mhm.
knee, above the knee, even a bilateral. That bilateral and me, we'll have total different worlds, total different
Mhm.
needs, wants. And again, so I have to show patience to that bilateral amputee just to say, man, again, you're not me and I'm not
Yeah.
you, and it is so patience all around.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah, never compare your stories, you know. Like don't ever compare your stories with anybody else, you know. Adapt and learn from each other, you know, but you know, don't ever go talking to another amputee, well, if you think that's bad, check this out, you know. Don't do that because, you know, it's just like, well, you're missing a toe or you're missing a finger and you call yourself an amputee, you know, don't you don't have to be
Missing
like
is
that.
missing.
Yeah, if you want to call yourself whatever you want, then do that. That's perfectly fine, you
That's
know.
right.
Because you see people joining, like, you know, like me, you and I are in Facebook groups and stuff like that together, and you see people ask the question. It's just like, hey, I lost two toes on my left foot. Is it okay if I'm here? Do I qualify to be here? Like, yeah, 100%. You know, you don't have to always. I don't know. You can join those groups just missing it, or just being, you know, all together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've talked to people that are missing a thumb, and I'm thinking, what would I do if I'm missing a thumb?
Could you
And
imagine?
that's a challenge. How am I going to hold a cup?
Yeah,
And I am missing both below the knee, and I'm thinking, wow, I could have it worse just by missing a thumb.
yep, absolutely. There's yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, again, and we I've talked about it before with somebody else. You see these videos of amputees running and jumping on boxes and climbing mountains and doing all this crazy stuff, which is great. That's fine. But a lot of new amputees see this stuff and they just get kind of depressed about it. And it's just like, I tell those people, it's like, look, those videos that you're seeing, the weightlifting and all that stuff, those aren't for you. Those aren't for amputees. Those are for two-legged people. Those are what's called "What's Your Excuse" videos.
yep,
Don't look at those and I mean watch them and gain inspiration from them, but don't look at them as something like, oh man, I'll never be able to do that again, that kind of thing, because
that's true.
you know draw inspiration from 'em, just be like, wow, that's crazy, look at what kind of leg they have, draw, like, look at different things about the video other than just kind of like, man, I wish I
Yeah,
could do that.
yeah, because uh, and this is the mental part outweighs physical, 1,000%.
100, yeah, yes, absolutely. Again, that goes back to what you and I were saying. If you say you can't do it, well, okay, then you're done.
Yep.
That's it. Not you or I or anybody else can change your mind. If you've already defeated yourself in your own mind, you're done. You
Yeah,
know,
because again, and this I tell people, who are you with 100% of the time? If you don't trust that person that you're with 100% of the time, you've lost that game. So every day that I look at myself in the mirror, I'm with me 100% of the time. You
yes,
know, we have family, we have friends, but they're not with us 100% of every day.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I have to trust myself.
yeah. It don't. I mean, you're exactly right. 100%. Well, Mr. Ron, I cannot thank you enough for coming and just talking to us and hanging out. I would love to have you back on the show. You and I can work that out and we'll figure out, a good time and date and that kind of stuff. If you would like to come back and hang out with us, that is.
Man, I love it. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, good deal. I'm going to drop you down, but I do greatly appreciate you. Don't run off real quick because I'll talk to you here in just a second so we
Okay.
can. So I gotta get some links and stuff like that from you and that kind of stuff so we can
Sounds
put
good.
in the description of this. So, all right, but I do greatly appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. And having said that, Mr. Ron, you have a great one, my brother.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, you guys. I greatly appreciate everybody coming out and just hanging out. And, like I always say at the end of these, just being a part of things. I know this isn't really you guys' cup of tea. And yet here you guys are just being your typical awesome selves. Um, you know, with that means the absolute world to me. Mr. Fusion, I want to also say a big, huge, massive thank you. Um, I really didn't want you to end your live stream. That wasn't really, I kind of feel bad about that. I hope you go live after this because I want to kind of go hang out with you guys. So having said that, you guys, please, thank you all for coming, and everybody just please stay safe, sane, happy, safe, motivated. Don't look back. Don't give a crap what anybody else says about you because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. With that, I'll see you next time.